Good morning, boys and girls. I am Mekabi, the subject advisor for Moteo in accounting. We are going to do grade 10 today. Basically, we are going to do the basics, meaning we have to remember whatever that we did from grade 8 and 9 because our accounting starts more, it starts to be serious more in grade 8 upwards. All right, so I want us to check a few things. If you can remember very well, in grade 8, you did what we call accounting cycle, but some did it in grade 9, and then maybe others will do it in grade 10. But accounting cycle is very important because it gives you a direction as to what is it that you need to know before you start doing a practical or calculations in accounting. In accounting cycle, remember, the first thing that must happen, the transaction must take place. What do we mean when we say transaction must take place? We are saying you must have money and then you go to the shop. Immediately you take out your money and pay for something. It means the transaction in that case is taking place. You go to ShopRite, you buy, you take out your money, you buy a pencil. It means the transaction is taking place. After the transaction has taken place, which is the first step, the second step is you're going to have the source documents. After you have bought that pencil or a pen, you're going to get a slip. That slip forms part of your source documents. Then after having the source document, you must transfer to your journals. And then remember, we have 9 journals. We have cash journals and then we have credit journals. So you must all know those journals from grade 8, 9, but you use most of them. You learn them in grade 9. Then from there, after you have your journals, then you do your ledgers. And then from doing your ledgers, you complete your trial balance. And then after completing your trial balance, you'll be able to do your financial statements. So that is how the accounting cycle goes. So without any waste of time, I would prefer that each and every grade 10 learner have whatever I'm having here on the screen, which is just a summary or it's just a reminder of how things should be done. In grade 9, if you can check here, you're going to have, this is the content that you did. The transactions, when the transaction takes place, you're going to have cash received for services rendered or donation or received, donation received or commission received. What is your source document? You'll have a cash register roll or cash register tape or cash invoice. Then the journal that you're going to use is going to be cash receipt journal because you have received a donation, you have received money. Then into the ledger accounts, you must debit your bank and then you must credit all other contra accounts that are involved. For example, if it was donation, you're going to credit the donation incomes. And I normally say when I talk to grade 8, 9s and 10s, I say, in most cases, all expenses are debited, most expenses are debited and all incomes are credited. Then let's see how does cash sales go. With cash sales, it means you have sold on cash. Then the customer pays cash, or the customer can use the card, the credit card or the debit card, or the customer can pay via EFT, which is electronic funds transfer. What is your source document in that case? Your source document can be cash register roll or tape. Then the EFT reference must be there for the transaction recorded, which can serve as a source, supporting document. And then the journal that you're going to use is going to be cash receipt journal because you have received money while a customer buys for the sales. When you're doing sales, when the customer buys, you have received cash. Then the ledger accounts that are involved, it's sales. Then you're going to debit your bank and debit cost of sales, under cost of sales, credit trading stock, and credit sales as well. Payment by EFT. When you're talking about payment by EFT or drawings by EFT, transfer of funds to personal account. So I will make, when you check here, the source document that you must use is the EFT with the reference number. Cash payment. Why cash payment? Because you have paid or you have done a drawing. So the relevant ledger accounts will be debit relevant contra account. You debit your drawings, you credit your bank. Then with the petty cash, you restore cash impress amount or cash float or cash wages or cash drawings. It must reflect on the bank statement. On the bank statement, the journal that you are going to use is cash payment journal from the bank statement. and the back statement will be your source document. Debit petty cash account or debit cash float or debit wages or debit throw-ins. You see all expenses in this case are debited. Cash withdrawal using bank or debit card of the business can also belong here. Maybe you have withdrawn cash to go and do the petty cash box in your in your store. So meaning that cash that you have withdrawn will reflect on your bank statement, and then you will record it under the cash payment journal, and then the following accounts will be debited and credited. Small payments from the petty cash, you can use a petty cash voucher. You record it in the petty cash journal. Debit relevant contra accounts, you credit the petty cash. Sole trader, it is a liberty to use cash for a variety of transaction payments, in which case the petty cash impress may be adjusted to a larger amount. Certain client service provider may prefer cash, do not have online facilities. That is true. Some small businesses, most of them do not have online facilities, so they prefer cash. Then salaries or wages paid by EFT, the source document will be an EFT with a reference number. Then you record that in the cash payment journal. You debit salaries, you credit the bank. Then debit honor or stop orders payments, they will only reflect on the bank statement. And then cash payment journal, the journal that you're going to use, the contra, and then you debit the contra account, you credit the bank. So all what you have gone through is the revision of the work that was done in grade 9, 8 and 9. So now here is the additional new transactions, because we are now in grade 10, we have to take it to a better level. In grade 10, this is what we have added. We have credit and debit sales, card sales, internet or online sales via EFT. Description, maybe a customer pays by credit or by debit card or via EFT online. The source document that must be used is CRR or CRT. EFTs received are confirmed on the bank statement. It may also be accepted as the source document. And then under the journals, we are going to have cash receipts journal. And then the ledger account, sales or selling price, debit bank, you credit your sales. Then you go under cost of sales, you debit cost of sales, you credit your trading stock. Then now we have what we call bank charges. Bank charges, cost and levies charged by the bank for services rendered. Remember, if you have a bank account, you must be charged for the levies or the services that the bank has done for you. And then deduction reflects on the bank statement, not paid by EFT, although the funds transfer out of the business account. All levies and charges are done and added as one amount. Remember, this is very important to add them as one amount when you record them in your cash payment journal. Then the interest charge is not added to bank charges but recorded separately because it's materiality under the GAAP principles. So all these charges or descriptions will come under the bank statement. Then what is it that you do when you record them in the cash payment journal? Then on the ledger account, you're going to debit your bank charges and then you credit the bank. Then we have carriages on purchases. Transport costs charged by supplier to deliver that trading stock that you have bought to your premises, or you paid by EFT or cash from the petty cash. The source documents that you are going to use is the EFT with reference number, and then the journal that you are going to use is cash payment journal, and then the petty cash voucher. If you have used the EFT, then you will use the petty cash journal. The ledger that you must use for EFT, you're going to debit the trading stock, you credit the bank. Here you debit the trading stock, you credit the petty cash because you have used the money from the petty cash. EFT received by the debtor. This one I've highlighted with red because there is a transaction that I want to show you. The transaction that I want us to discuss when we go through, that is based on this. Just to emphasize that we do not record our journals based on the SMS received, because a person can pay via EFT and then you receive an SMS of confirmation of payment. And then after some time, the person reverses that amount. So you won't record or update your books based on that. So a debtor can pay his or her outstanding debts by EFT and send proof of payment to the business. The payment can reflect in the bank statement of the business immediately or after a few days, depending on the bank used by the debtor. The bank only records the EFT received when it is reflected in the bank statement or transactional history, which is continuously accessible online. So the source document here will be a receipt online confirmation of payment received or sent. EFT received is confirmed on the bank statement. It may also be accepted as the source document. Where do you write this? Under the cash receipt journal. The ledger accounts, you debit your bank, and then you credit your debtors control, you credit your debtor in the debtors ledger. Note, reflect one date for the transaction and or for the bank statement entry. So if you say the EFT was done on the 30th and on the 20th and 16th, and then you see that it's reflecting on another day, that you must also take care of. Then let's check the discount allowed. Debtors are allowed to pay a reduced amount on their accounts as an incentive to pay earlier. So this discount is an expense or a loss to the business. So under the receipt, the same document used for the amounts received from the debtor, you record that under the CRJ, ledger accounts, debit discount allowed, credit discount, debtors control, you credit debtors in debtors ledger. Discount allowed cancelled, not applicable with EFTs, as the receipt will be confirmed before it is recorded. So you confirm the receipt before you record a certain transaction. So before you record a certain transaction, you need to do what? You need to confirm receipt of money in your bank statement, because people can say they have paid, they sent you an SMS or a SMS notification. After that, they reverse it. Then at the end of the day, they still owe you money. EFT paid to creditors. Description. A creditor is paid by EFT outstanding amount. Proof of payment is sent to the creditor. This payment will immediately reflect on the bank statement of the business. That is true because you are the one paying, so it will immediately reflect or reduce whatever amount that you are having in your bank account. Then the source document here will be an EFT with reference number. Then the journal will be cash payment journal. And then the ledger account, you're going to debit the creditors control, debit the creditors in the creditors ledger, and then you credit your bank because your bank has, you reduce whatever that you are having from the bank. Then we have discount received from the creditors. Creditors allow discount when an outstanding amount is settled earlier than agreed. This discount is an income account profit to the business. This will be negotiable or negotiated before the EFT is processed. So you can't say, let's say for example, you owe 2,000. You can't say you are paying 2,000, then after that you'll talk about the discount, then they refund you the discount. It doesn't work like that. If you owe 2,000, you have to ask them maybe a discount before you make the EFT. You say, I have money, I want to settle your account. How much should I pay? Can't you give me discount, so that you transfer the certain or the agreed amount with the creditors. Then you record that in the cash payment journal. And then the ledger accounts, you debit creditors control, you debit creditors control, you debit creditors in the creditors ledger, then you credit the discount received. Discount received cancelled, not applicable with EFTs. The payment will be confirmed. This is very important. The payment will be confirmed on the bank statement so that there will not be a need to cancel any discount received. So interest on overdraft and interest on current account. And on a positive bank balance will appear as receipts, credit, or on the bank statement added to the balance. So the source document here will be the bank statement. The interest, you'll only see it on the bank statement. Then you go to CRJ because you have received that interest. You must record it under the cash receipts journal. And then the ledger, you debit your bank, which is an asset. You credit your interest on current account. All right? And then we go into interest on overdraft, which is an expense charged by the bank on a negative overdrawn bank balance. It will appear as a payment or a debit on the bank statement, subtracted from the balance. Bank statement, journal, cash payment journal. Debit interest on overdraft is an expense. Credit bank can be a liability if the bank balance is on a credit or on a negative balances. Fixed deposit and interest on fixed deposit. Money deposited for a predetermined period, usually 1 year or longer, at a higher interest rate than a current bank account. The aim is to earn higher return on this investment. So grade 10, calculation of interest. We use the simple interest method. A fixed deposit is an asset. So interest on fixed deposit is an income. So we don't go for compound interest or any other interest. We are using simple interest in grade 10. So this is how it goes. We are going to have P, which is principal amount on the investment, meaning whatever that we have invested, multiply by interest rate, which is rate, then divide by 100, and then multiply by the time, which is the term that we have invested that money for. If it's for 12 months, you'll write your 12 months. If it's for 2 years, it will depend on the time that you have invested that money for. Then fixed deposit made, money deposited in a fixed deposit account, EFT from the bank account of the relevant investment bank or alternative account. The source document here will be an EFT with reference number. It must be recorded under cash payment journal. You debit your fixed deposit, ABC Bank, add names to the bank to this account as each deposit is unique. Then you credit the bank. Then fixed deposit matures. The term of the investment has expired. The funds, meaning the amount invested, will then be transferred from the investment bank or alternative account to the current account. Bank statement. Do not show it in the analysis of receipts column. You just write it under cash receipts journal, and then the bank, debit your bank, you credit your fixed deposit account with the amount that you owe. All right? And then interest earned on fixed deposit. Also the interest, you do not show it in the receipts analysis of receipts column. Interest is transferred into the bank account, and then it could be included with the maturity value. See above. In each case, separate and record. Income earned on the fixed deposit is an income. Then you record that under the cash receipt journal. Credit interest on, you debit the bank, then you credit the interest on fixed deposit. No bank name and interest from all deposits are credited in an account. Then loans and interest on loans. Description. Extra capital or financing can be obtained by taking a loan from the bank or financial institution. Loans are negotiated for 1 year or longer, long term, and must be repaid with interest. Non-current liabilities, loans, current liabilities, part of the loan can be repaid in the next financial year, and then expenses is an interest on that loan. So loans received from the bank, you see them in the bank statement. Amount is received and transferred from the bank or the financial granting the loan, and this is a principal amount or a capital loan. Then you can see that in the bank statement. Then you record it under the cash receipts journal. In the ledger, you will debit your bank, and then you will credit your loan account. Loan repayments, installment of full amount by EFT or debit order. The EFT with reference number, but you will see it in the bank statement, paid by the debit order. If you are paying by the debit order, then you can record it in the cash payment journal. You debit your loan, and then you credit your bank. Interest on loan, which is simply interest, EFT with reference number or bank statement, paid by debit order. In the same way, cash payment journal, because you are paying the interest, You debit interest on loan, you credit the bank. Calculation, we talked about it, which is the principal amount multiplied by interest divided by 100 multiplied by the time. Interest on loan, which is capitalized. Interest is calculated on the outstanding loan and added on the capital amount of loan at the regular intervals. You will see capitalized interest more in grade 12. So you need to know it like from now, from grade 10. You will see that in the bank statement paid by the debit order or EFT with a reference number, you record it in the cash payment journal. And then loan repayments with interest, you debit your loan, ABC Bank, and then you credit your bank. Payments is generally a debit order for a fixed amount or fixed monthly amount or EFT amount that you can write it in the general journal. Full interest amount, see calculations can be done here for you. Debit interest on loan, no bank name or no bank name. Credit loan, you give the name of the bank. Interest is calculated by the bank and it's reflected on the loan statement. Regular loan repayments will result in the interest being calculated on a smaller each time because it is capitalized. If you owe 2,000, then you pay interest, you keep on paying interest. When it's about 1,000 rand, your interest will no more be as much as you had when it was 3,000. Calculations will be like this. Maybe this is the loan that you took at the beginning is 300,000. Then interest on the loan will be 25,000, and then the installment will be 60,000, and then the loan balance at the end of the period will be 265. All right. So we have come to the end of our notes. These are important notes that each and every grade 10 learner must have and must be paid. They must paste them in their grade 10 books. They can either paste it on the theory book, or they can paste it on their journals at the beginning of their journals so that they can remember everything when they are busy doing their activities. So let's literally go to few of the activities that we are having here. I'm going to do question 1 with you. Here is how question 1 looks like. Question 1, where we are going to do the cash journals. And in the cash journals, I'm going to focus on the 2 cash journals that you guys did from grade 9. Because I believe now, because I believe now most of you, yes, I think now it's fine. This is how it looks. All right. Here are the cash journals. You have the following information, which was extracted from the records of Malinde store for February 2019. The business maintains a markup percentage of 25% on cost. Prepare the following journals and do not total any columns. You have to prepare cash receipt journal and cash payment journal. So first of all, you have Malinde stores took out a 20,000 loan at 12% per annum from Absa Bank. The money was deposited into the business bank account. Interest is paid monthly on the last day of the month. So meaning you must clearly show your interest on the last day of the month. Remember, we said the interest, you do not write it or record it under the analysis of receipts. So you will show it straight into your bank. All right. Then let's go. The first transaction, number 1, on the first, is it a payment or a receipt? Because we wanted the Malinde store took out 20,000 loan. Because we took a loan, it means to us we have received money. It is going to go to cash receipts. Here it's your cash receipts, 20,000. Absa Bank, you don't show it under analysis of receipts. You go straight to your bank, 20,000. Then you have it under your sundry as 20,000 and loan to Absa Bank. All right, let me do this not to confuse you. and then try to make it white so that we record them as we go. All right. Then we have on the second, we're going back to our question. On the second, remember here, this part is still outstanding. The interest, it's still outstanding because we have not yet arrived on the last day of the month. So bear in mind that on the last day of the month, you have to record this interest. All right. Then on the second, the owner, D. Malindi, deposited 95,000 into the bank, into the business bank account to increase his capital. So what happened to us? Did we receive money or did we pay money? We received money. So we come in here on the second. We received money of how much? Of 95,000. So it's D. Malinde who is the owner. We received money of 95,000 and then we took it straight to our journals, to our sundry accounts as 95,000 as under details we are going to have a capital. Then paid number 4, let's go to our question again. On the 4th, paid by EFT 18,500 to Bongi wholesaler for the merchandise of 18,500 purchased. So meaning in this case what happened? We have paid. So if we have paid, we can't take it to receipt, we must take it to our payments. So it will look like this under our payments. I just want to leave it white so that we can follow each other. It will be on the 4th, Bongi wholesalers, 18,500 through the bank. And what was this money for? It was for, what is it? It was for stock. So trading stock, 18,500. So we are moving now. We're going to number 5 on the 5th. Paid speedy deliveries by EFT 800 for the delivery of stock. Let's see. You paid speedy deliveries by EFT 800 for the delivery of stock. Did you pay or receive? You paid. So you must go to your cash payment. On the 5th, you record. On the 5th, you record. You have speed delivery, which is the name of the company that you have paid. And then you paying 800 rand. And what was it for? It was the delivery. It was for the delivery of what? Of the stock. So under cash payment journal, under bank, you're going to have that 800. And then under trading stock, you're going to have another 800. Then we go into another transaction. Going back to our questions. On the 6th, you have invested 30,000 of fixed deposit at 10% per annum interest at B&B Bank. So let's finish the first transaction first. What happened here? Did we receive or pay? We have invested. Meaning when you invest money, you're taking out whatever money that you are having in your business. You're going to record it under the cash payment journal. So let's go to our cash payment journal. On the 6th, we are having cash payment journal. The name of the bank where you have invested your money is B&B Bank. And then you record it under bank. And then under sundries, you're going to have the 30,000 fixed deposit. To which bank did it go? It has gone to B&B Bank. Then on the same day, you had cash sales for the week of 11,500. When you do sales, what happens to you? Are you receiving money or are you paying money? When you do sales, you are receiving money. Therefore, you take it to cash receipts journal. Cash receipts journal. Let's go to our cash receipts journal. Here is our cash receipts journal. It's payments now. We are going to cash receipts journal on the very same day of the 6th. Cash receipt journal, you are going to have the sales that you have made of how much? 11,550. You take it to the bank, 11,550. How much was the sales? 11,550. Then the cost of sales, you must go back to your markup. When you check your markup, when you check your markup is 75%. 75% of the total amount of 11,550 is going to be 6,600. So meaning the cost of sales in this case was 6,600. I'm sorry that I forgot my calculator, but I think you can calculate it on your own. The 6,600 is the 75%, or I can use the screen calculator. But you know, when it's not your computer, it is much difficult to check that screen. But it's fine. I believe you can calculate it on your own. The 75% of the 11,550, it is where you will get your 6,660. Or I have a calculator luckily here. So 11,550 multiply by 100 divide by 175. Sorry, 175. Then you have your enter. It is 6,600. So you can see the cost of sales this case is 6,600. Let us quickly go a little bit back and see where we got the 75%. Remember at the beginning of this we said the calculation here, the markup percent was 75%. So you have to use it as you go further. Then we have to move to number 11. Number 11, or the date of the 11, paid by EFT 7,400 to Dietrich Traders for purchasing of goods. Meaning you have paid 7,400. When you pay, is it a receipt or a payment? It's a payment. Therefore, you need to go to your payment. On the 11th, your cash payments journal. You have Dietrich Traders because you are paying them. You paid through the bank 7,400, and then your trading stock is 7,400. All right. Then you need to go to the next one. Let's go to the question again. Paid Superfast Logistics 300. When you pay Superfast Logistics, is it a payment or receipt? It's clear, payment. Therefore, you go to your cash payment on the 11th, and then you paid the Super Logistics 300, and then it goes under the bank as 300, and then it goes under the trading stock. Can you be careful and be aware that all these two were done on the same day, but they were not added because you are paying two different people. You took out money from your bank to pay them via EFT. Therefore, you made two transactions, so it must clearly be shown that it is two transactions. Then, coming to this one, I have included this purposefully. If you can remember on the notes that we did, you received an SMS notification of EFT payments from a debtor S4 for 1,920 in settlement of his account of 2,000, issued a receipt. Remember, what did we say here? We said before you make a payment of EFT, you need to negotiate for the settlement of, you need to negotiate for the discount. Then you pay a required amount only. So this, you cannot record it. You cannot record it at all. Why? Because you have just received an SMS notification. It doesn't reflect in a bank statement. In the same way, on the 26th, I want you to check it. You see, they have reversed it even before a month can come in. So you do not record these two because you only record things that you see on the bank statement. So just be careful on that one, that you are not going to record that kind of a transaction on the 26th and on the 16th. You do not record it at all, because once you have received an SMS notification, it doesn't clearly show, it doesn't mean the payment is already in your bank. You need to have a proof of payment, and it must reflect on your bank statement. So I have purposefully left this transaction for you so that you do not even think or make a mistake like that one. So you will go to your, you don't go to your journals, you don't record this transaction at all. And then you don't record it under the cash payment. Remember, in the olden days, you would record it because you received a check, and then now we are no more using the checks, and then you take it out at a later stage. So in this case, it does not happen like that. So we move into number 20. Received 3,150 from M. Mufokeng as part of payment and issued a receipt, meaning it's cash receipt because you have received. Therefore, you go to your cash receipts. Cash receipts on the 20th. This is how it will look like. On the 20th, it will be M. Mufokeng. You received 3,150 under your analysis of receipts. And then you go to your bank, 3,150. Then under debtors control, 3,150. It's your cash receipts. Then you go to the next transaction. Cash sales for the week of 16,975. It means when you do cash sales, you have sold, you have received money. Therefore, you go to your cash receipts on the 25th. This is how you're going to record it. On the 25th, you say sales of how much? 16,975. Bank, it goes through the bank, 16,975. The sales was 16,975. The cost of sales, then let's go to our calculator again for cost of sales. Under cost of sales, we are going to have 16,975 multiply. Remember the formula. This formula, I think you did it a long time ago. Multiply by 100, and then you divide by 175. Then you have enter. Your answer will be 9,700, which is this one. So remember to calculate markup once you are to calculate cost of sales once you are given the markup. All right, and then let's go to the next transaction on the 27th. On the 26th, remember this one, cancel this one. So you are not going to receive any kind of these transactions for now, because we must only record the transactions that we found on the bank statements as our source document. When somebody has paid, you can get an SMS notification, but when they reverse an aspect, you'll never get an SMS notification. So you need to wait for the bank statement in order for you to do what? To record a certain transaction. All right, then let's go on the 27th. On the 27th, we paid EFT 4,700 to FD suppliers for settling the account of 5,000. In this case, you are making a payment. Therefore, you need to go to your cash payment journal. Here is our cash payment journal. It looks like this. FD suppliers, we paid 4,700 through our bank. What was it for? It was for creditors for 4,700. And then the discount that we got is 3,000. Can you see you did not pay the 5,000 here because you negotiate the discount before you make an FET payment. So you only give them whatever that you guys have agreed on. So you have agreed on the 4,700, but now you are having the discount. They gave you the discount of 300, which is an income to the business. All right. Then let's go to the next question. The next transaction. Bank statement received from DD Bank showed the following service fees: 112, ATM fees 134, interest received on bank account 155. If we can go back to the notes that we talked about, we said on the bank statement the charges and the services can be added, but the interest must be recorded separately. You still remember, it must not be part of whatever the charges, the bank charges you are having. So bank charges received, meaning when you receive the bank charges you must pay. Therefore, you go to your cash payments journal. On the 29th, you have to pay the bank charges. This is how it goes. You have DD Bank, 246. Where did you get the 246? If you check from the transaction here, you have to say, let's go to our calculator again, 112, which is 112, plus 134, it gives you 246. So, meaning you have added your service fees and your ATM fees to get to the bank charges of 246. Hence why you are having 246 here. And then under the sundry, you're going to have 246. Then you record them as what? As bank charges. All right? On the same transaction, interest received. If you receive an interest, is it a payment or a receipt? It's clear, it's a receipt. Therefore, you must take it to your cash receipts journal. Then let's go to cash receipts journal. Cash receipt journal, on the 29th, you are receiving DD Bank, 155 rand. Under the bank, it came into your bank. Then under the sundry, you have 155. Then you have interest income. And then let's go to the last transaction. Paid the monthly interest on the loan as installment of 2,000 of Absa Bank. Do you still remember Absa Bank? Yes. Here it is on the first statement. Malinde took 20,000 and the interest must be paid when? On the last day of the month. It's 12% per annum. So meaning every month is how much? It's 1% because we have in 12 months in an annum, in a year. So if it's 12% in a year, it means it's 1% in a month. So we need to calculate that 1%. So paid the monthly interest on the loan as well as the installment. So you are paying the installment and the interest. So when you pay, you go to your cash payments. It's receipts here. You go to your cash payment. You are going to have that name of the bank that you must pay. Now let's talk about the money. How much do you pay? We're going back to our question. Let me go back to it. It says how much was the loan? 20,000 at 12%. Therefore, for 1 month, it's at 1%. Ne? All right. Let's go to our calculations. 20,000 for the loan, multiply by 1, divide by 100. Divide by 100. Therefore, how much is your interest? Your interest is 200. So when you read, are we going to record 200 here? No. Why? Because you need to read clearly the statement. It says to you, the paid monthly interest as well as the installment. So on the interest of 200, you must add the installment of 2,000. When you say 200 interest plus 2,000, it will give you 2,200. So under your cash payment journal, you have to record it as a whole. This is how you do it. You're going to have 2,200. And then what is this 2,200? It's 2,200 is the loan plus the interest. So under the sundries, you're going to have 2,000 loan from Absa Bank. And then the interest must also be shown. then you must show the 200 for the interest on the loan. So this is how our journals will look like. If we can go back here, if it is exam time, take note of the following. Do not total any columns, because when you're totaling any columns and you are told not to total them, you're not going to get marks, but you're going to waste more time on totaling the columns. So if it's exam time, take note of such things. So I think we need to go for a break now, 15 minutes break, and then we will be back in 15 minutes. Thank you very much. We are still going to continue with our journals, where we are going to do our journals as expected. Let's have a water break. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome back again after the water break. I think you well went to bathrooms and all that. Then let's go to question 2, where we are going to have part of the credit journals. We are going to have cash journals and credit journals. Question 2, our question 2 will look like the following. Cash and credit journals. The following information was extracted from the records of Tipanye traders for January 2018. Do not total the journals. The business maintains a markup of 50% on cost. You are required to do the following 3 journals. You do your debtors journal, you do your cash receipt journal, you do your cash payment journal. So here are the transactions that are given to you. Remember, you must also take care of this again. Do not total the journals. So if it's exam time, they say do not total the journals. Do not do it, because you'll be wasting your time. Follow the instruction at all costs. All right. So here's our transactions. The first transaction, it goes, receive an EFT payment from Pop Bank for 60,000. This was a loan negotiated in December 2017. So what happened here, we have received. So once we're talking about receipt, we must go back to our cash receipt journal. Where is it? It's here. Cash receipt journal. Under cash receipt journal, question 2, sorry for that. Yeah, here we are. Under cash receipt journal, on the 3rd, we have Pop Bank at 60,000. Let me highlight this with white so that you can follow with me. All right, you have Pop Bank 60,000, and then sorry for that. Under the Sunday's account, you have 60,000 as well. What was the money for? It's a loan from Pop Bank, which was negotiated, like we said, a previous year. All right, then let's move again to our second transaction. Our second transaction will be on the 4th. Invested 15,000 in fixed deposit at 10% per annum, interest at Slay Bank, paid electronically. So you have invested. When you invest, it means you're taking out money out of your business and paying it somewhere, or keeping it somewhere, or investing it somewhere. So we need to use which journal? Cash payment journal. Then let's go to our cash payment journal. Cash payment journal. Here is our cash payment journal. Let me highlight this with white so that we can follow. Under cash payment journal, you are having Slay Bank. How much was it? It is 15,000. What was it for? It was a fixed deposit under Sunday's account. All right. Then you go back to your transactions again. You have a debtor, G Ntumisi, bought goods on credit for 4,500. The invoice is 212. So meaning these goods were bought on credit. Who do you sell to on credit? You sell to your debtor. So it is basically telling you that this person is a debtor. Therefore, you must record this transaction under the debtors journal. Therefore, you go to your debtors journal, which was provided for you. On the 5th, you have G Mutsumi. You made a sales of 4,500. And then the cost of sales. Let's calculate cost of sales. You need to go back to the information that you're having. Cost of sales, it says the markup was how much? It was 50%. Therefore, you have to calculate the 50% the 50% out of the 4,500. Therefore, let's go to our calculators. Remember the formula for markup, it's amount of the markup, then you multiply by 100, you divide by 100 plus percentage given. So we are given 50%, therefore you'll divide by 150, therefore you'll have 3,000. So when you go to your journal, you're going to have your cost of sales as 3,000. Under your debtors journal, your sales is 4.5, your cost of sales is 3,000. All right, then let's go to the transactions again. Under the transactions, we are at transactions on the 9th. We made an EFT payment in favor of 6,480 to Ngakani stores for purchasing of trading stock. So we made a payment. Why? Because we were buying stock. When you make a payment, which journal do you use? Payments or receipt? It's very clear. Payments. Therefore, you go to your cash payment. Here is the receipt. You go to your cash payment. You record your cash payment. You're saying, no, sorry for that. You're saying Ngakani stores. Under Ngakani stores, under bank, you have 6,480. Under trading stock, we have 6,480. So the 6,480 was for trading stock, hence why you're taking it to this column. And then you go into transaction, the next transaction, which is transaction number 12. Cash sales for the day amounted to 15,000. So you have done the sales for the day, and they were cash. So you have received money. Therefore, you need to record it where? Under the cash receipts. Therefore, you go, you look for your cash receipts on the 12th. Your cash receipts will look like this. Sales for how much? 15,000. And the bank you should put, what should you put in your bank? The 15,000. And then what was it for? It was for the sales. Therefore, you need to calculate cost of sales. You go back to the information given. It says the markup percent is how much? 50%. Therefore, we are going to our calculators again. We are saying 15,000 for the stock. And then you multiply by 100, divide by 150, which is the markup that was given. Therefore, your cost of sales is how much? 10,000. Therefore, you go into your journal, you write cost of sales 10,000. All right. Then you move to the next transaction. The next transaction on the 14th. Made an EFT payment of 320 to Tehla Transport for the delivery of goods that was purchased on the 9th. What did you do? Receive or paid? You paid. So you need to go to your cash payment. Cash payment journal. We have receipts here. Here is the cash payment journal. This is how you're going to record the transaction as Tehla. What did you pay Tehla for? You paid Tehla 320. What did you pay it for? It was for the delivery of stock. Therefore, it affects our trading stock. And then we have 320. All right. Then let's move to the next transaction. It's moving a bit fast now because we are done with the laws and expectations and whatever. Then on the 15th, made an EFT payment in favor of Rakotswane stores for the following. You made two payments. You made the one for trading stock. You made the one for computer for use in the maybe in the office. Let's go. You made a payment, therefore it must go to cash payments journal. Therefore, you go to your cash payments journal. You are saying Rakotswane, you paid 15,730 out of your bank was taken out. And then EFT was for two payments. The other one was for the computer, which is 8,400, and a computer is your equipment in the business. And then the other one was for trading stock, 7,330. But out of your bank, you have taken out 15,730. 30, but for 2 aspects. All right, then let's go on the next transaction. Credit sales per invoice to end situation amounts to 1,200. What happened here? There was the sales that were made, the sales that were made, but they were made on credit to this person. So where do we take it to? We make creditors to our we give credit to our debtors. Therefore, you need to go to your debtors journal. Where is your debtors journal? It's here. Who is your debtor in this case? Ms. Kwecha. On the 16th, your debtor, Ms. Kwecha, sales 1,200. And then cost of sales, you need to go back to the formula. Cost of sales, the markup is 50%. Therefore, you go 1,200 of the goods. Then you multiply by 100, divide by 150, which is the percentage given. Then we have your 800. Here is our 800 for cost of sales. All right. Then let's move to the 18th. Received an SMS notification of B. Mashiani, a debtor, for 970 in settlement of his amount of 1,020. Meaning what happened here, Mashiani paid us, negotiated with us before he can give us a payment. So it means he didn't pay the money including the discount. So the discount is separate, but it is going to be a loss onto us because this Mashiani is a debtor, so we are giving Mashiani a discount. So we record only what we have received. Let's see how does it go under cash receipts journal. On the 18th, here is our transaction. Mashiani, he paid 970. And the bank, we got 970. What was it for? It was from a debtor. And this debtor was given a 50 Rand discount. So when you add 970 plus 50, it will give you the total amount that Mashiani owes us of 1,020. All right. Let's move again to the 25th. Made an EFT payment of 7,600 to 13 traders in a monthly installment for purchases on credit. Then the discount of 5% was given or was deducted from his payment that he made. All right. What happened here? Made an FET payment, meaning what we did, we made a payment. So we must go to cash payment journal. Here is our cash payment journal. Under our cash payment journal, we have to record it as follows. Here it will be, but we'll see how we got that. Under cash payment journal, it's Taden Traders. How much did Taden pay? 7,600. And then the creditors was for 7,600. We owed 7,600. And then the discount that we received was 380. So the 380, how did we get it? We said 7,600. 7,600 multiply by 5%. It's 380. So the discount that we received is 380. Be careful that we made a payment of 3,800, a payment of 7,600. If it was not for the discount, we were supposed to pay 3,600 plus 780, which is 7,980. So be careful of that. All right, then let's move to another transaction. A business sold trading stock on credit for 960 to a debtor B Ben. When you sell on credit, you are selling to your debtor, therefore you must record it under the debtor's journal. Let's go to our debtor's journal. Here is our debtor's journal. Who are we selling it to? We are selling it to Ben on the 28th. We are selling it for how much? For 960. The markup, remember, is 60%. Therefore, let's calculate the 60%. We're saying the cost, we multiply by 100 divided by 150, which is the percentage given. Then you have your 640. Therefore, the goods that were sold to this person amounted to 640. And then the cost of sales was 640, but the goods he was sold for 960. All right. And then the last transaction, it's the last one before we go to the next activity. The bank received TT bank statement that showed the following. Service fees, 95 Rand. Cash deposit fee, 135. Credit card, 170. Interest on credit balance, 120. Debit order payments to BT insurer for the insurance of the owner's car, 365. So how do we record these items? On the bank statement, remember we talked about the expenses, the expenses that must be added as bank charges. In this case, we are going to have our service fee, it's a bank charge. Cash deposit fee is also a bank charge. Credit card, the levies are also included. Interest is recorded separately. Remember, we said it's materiality, so it must be recorded separately. So let's see how do we go about on this one. And then on the bank statement, we have again 365, which is also a payment. Therefore, we need to add all the three together to get our bank charges. And where do we record our bank charges? In the cash payment journal. So let's move to our cash payment journal. Our cash payment journal will look like this. We are receipts now. Let's go to our payments. Our cash payment will look like this. On the 29th, we have TT Bank. The 400, where does 400 comes from? Let me quickly do it again. I said it's 95 Rand for the service fees, plus 135 for the deposit fee, plus 170 for the credit card. Then when you add everything together, it goes to 400. And what is this 400 for? It's for the bank charges. All right. Then on the very same last transaction, there was interest on credit balance. Meaning interest on credit balance, it's an income onto our business. Therefore, all incomes must be recorded under the cash receipts. Let's go to our cash receipts. Here is our cash receipts. This is how we are going to record it. TT Bank, we received under bank 120. What was this 120 for? It was for the interest income. All right. Then on the very same last transaction again, debit order payment to BT insurer for the insurance of owner's car. In this case, what happened is a payment. It must go to our cash payment journal. Therefore, this is how it will look like, cash payment journal. BT insurer, 365, which was the insurance for the owner. Therefore, under drawings is 365, and then you record it as drawings. All right. So going back again, when we check here, we have dealt with all transactions. The other tip that I wanted to give it to you guys is, if you do your journals and you are behind, let's say when you are doing exams, you go like I did, transaction per transaction, because that really helps you to save time. Because if you want to say, I want to look for all transactions that belongs to the payment and then tick them, then you go back again, look for all the transactions that goes to receipts, you tick them. It consumes a lot of time. So you will see how fast will we finish this one, because this question 3 has got a lot of journals in it. It has got cash receipts journal, cash payments, debtors journal, and creditors journal, and creditors allowance journal as well. So you will see how it goes. No, only 4. It has cash receipt journal, cash payment, debtors journal, and creditors journal. So you will see how fast will it go You are given 20 minutes, but you can do it in less than 20 minutes because you will be doing transactions as you go through it. So it says, refer to the given information of stream traders below and record the action. The following journals for 2016. Stream traders up to 40% on cost required. Draw up the following journals for February 2016. You're going to do 4 journals. Cash receipts journal, cash payment, debtors journal, and creditors journal. So let's see the first one. On the 10th, the owner J. Bower increased his capital by depositing 30,000. So meaning when the owner deposits 40,000, that money, we receive it, it must go to our cash receipts. Therefore, let's go to our cash receipts. Where is our question 3? Here is our question 3. We're having cash receipts. Here is Bower. When you check Bower here, Bower has deposited amount of 30,000 into the bank, and then it goes to Sundry as 30,000 and as a capital. Then let's go to the second transaction. The second transaction, it says, sold goods on credit to P. Mozolo for 2,800. The cost of sales, you must look for it. The invoice is number 10. Cost of sales, we'll have to look up for our markup. You see, in this case, the markup is 40%. So it is very important, colleagues, before these learners in grade 10, before you introduce them to journal, you can even do smaller activities like calculation, just the calculation of your, the calculations of your markup. You give them figures, then you say they must calculate markup so that they can be clued or they can understand markup easily, and then they won't struggle when they are writing it. So it goes to debtors journal. Let's go to our debtors journal. Where is our debtors journal? Here is our debtors journal. But before we get to the debtors journal, we need to calculate our markup, our cost of sales. So P. Mozolo sales is 2,000. Let's calculate our cost of sales. Our cost of sales in this case is 40%. Sorry. So 2,800 multiply by 100, divide by 140, it gives you 2,000. So your cost of sales in this case is 2,000. Then we go into the next transaction on the 14th. Received an invoice of number 77 from PEM Ltd together with goods 7,600. Stationery was 2. Stationery and stationery 250. So on the 14th, we received an invoice, meaning from our creditors. Therefore, you need to go to our creditors. Here it is. On the 14th, you have PEM. With PEM, how much do you have? PEM Ltd, you have 7,860. Trading stock, what was it for? 7,600 was for trading stock, and the stationery was for 250. So you owed PEM that according to this transaction, number 12. Then transaction number 14, received an invoice number 77 from PEM Ltd together, sorry, where am I? 16, sorry for that. Made an EFT payment to Zenith Manufacture for 1,120, receive a discount of 80. Therefore, how do we deal with this one? It's a cash payment. Therefore, you go to your cash payment. Where is your cash payment? Here is a cash payment. Zenith, bank 1,200. The creditor, you owed him 1,200. 1,120 was what you received. You owed the creditor 1,200. And then the discount received was 80. But even here, even if you can write 1,120, they can be a messy. But remember, what happens is you need to write the amount that you owed that creditor so that you know we can clearly see the discount or the difference that it was there, the discount. Then let's go to the next one. Cash sales for the day, 3,500, and the cost of sales was 2.5. It's already calculated for us. So if it's cash sales we have received, we need to go to our cash receipts. And then under our cash receipts, you're going to see those sales. Here they are. The sales of how much? 3,500. The cost of sales was 2,500. It's easy when given, ne? Easy to calculate. Easy to when it's given, not to calculate. On the 25th, sold merchandise on credit to this person. When you sell on credit, you are selling to your debtors. So it simply means this transaction must go to debtors journal. Then you go to debtors journal here. Debtors journal on the 25th, you having J. Johnny, you sold for 560. Cost of sales is given, it's 400. And then you go into the next transaction. On the next transaction, you bought equipment of 2,800 and a bicycle for deliveries for 1.8 on the credit from SS supplier, 579. So what happens here, you go to creditors journal because you bought an equipment, meaning you bought it on credit. Therefore, you go to creditors journal. On the 26th, this is how it will look like. You have creditors control of 4,600. Why 4,600? You add your equipment of 2.8 plus the 1.8 for the bicycle. Therefore, 2.8 plus 1.8 is 4,600. So under sentries, because the bicycles falls under vehicles, it will go under sentries as vehicles. All right. Then let's go to the next transaction. On the 28th, the owner see Pochi withdraws 2,500 cash from the business. And then let's record this transaction first on its own. It's cash payment journal. Then we go to our journals. We go to cash payment journals. Here is the 2,500 under the bank, and then the 2,500 under the throw-ins, because it's the owner who withdrew that money for personal use. Then let's go to the next transaction. Bought stock of 3,567 from ABC stores and paid by EFT. Then we go to that cash payment. ABC stores, you paid 3,567. What was it for? It was for trading stock. All right. Then the last transaction. Received 6,700 from the tenant T. Mashoke for the monthly rent. So we received the rent. In this case, you must go back to your journals and go to cash receipts journal. Under cash receipts journal, that is where you are going to have this tenant. T. Mashoke, 6,700. Under bank, we received 6,700. Under sentries, it's 6,700. Then it's rent income. All right. Like I said, if you do not have time, do not total. If the examiner said do not total. So in this case, we were not supposed to do what? To do the totals. Yeah, you are not supposed to do the totals, but you're supposed to do the markup of that. Or are we supposed? No, we are supposed to do them. There is no way where they said you mustn't do them. Refer to the given information of stream traders below and record the actions of February and markup that, and then let's do the totals there. I was wondering why I did the totals. The totals are already here. Cost of sales, the total is 2.5. The sales is 3,500. The bank is 33,500. Analysis and receipts, there's no need for us to do the totals there. And then in the same way, here we are going to total the bank because all other columns it's 1. And then let's total here. Here we need to do the totals. Cost of sales was 800 and the sales was 1,200. And then under creditors journal, we are having 7,850 plus 4,600. It will give us 12,450. Trading stock is just one item, 7.6. You bring it as it is. Stationery, you bring it as it is. Equipment, you bring it as it is. And then here it's 1,800 under the sundries. All right, we have come to the end of our presentation. I will again see you tomorrow. We are still going to continue with our journals tomorrow, same time again. So I would like to really thank you very much, and keep on pushing, colleagues. Remember, the foundation is laid mostly in grade 10, where we make sure that we channel our level 7 learners, where we make sure that we identify learners who needs attention. So good luck for the day. Let's see each other tomorrow. Thank you very much.